LeBron James tells Sports Illustrated, quote, he's going home. The four-time NBA MVP will return to the Cleveland Cavaliers, where he began his career. Just 4 years after the decision, LeBron was at the same crossroads once again. It came down to staying in Miami or returning to Cleveland. In choosing the Cavs, LeBron says, quote, I'd always believed that I'd return to Cleveland and finish my career there. For more, we bring in Ira Winderman, writer for the Sun-Sentinel, who also covers the Heat for Fox Sports Florida. Ira, thanks for joining us. What is the mood right now in Miami, considering that they appeared very early on to be the frontrunners to retain LeBron's services?
Well, Greg, I put it this way. I never thought Miami would feel like Cleveland, but I think Miami right now feels like Cleveland did in July 2010 when LeBron James went from the Cavaliers to Miami. I mean, you got to remember, the Heat have been to the last 4 NBA Finals. They've won the only 2 championships of LeBron James' career, and here they were hoping to go to a 5th straight Finals, becoming only the 2nd team in NBA history to do it. And instead, LeBron James decides to go home. So I know they're stunned in the front office. They are meeting right now, trying to recalibrate. And in Miami, what was becoming a basketball town may now go back to being a football town.
Yeah, it's a startling change of events here. And let's talk about some of the things that maybe led to LeBron's exodus from Miami. One thing, obviously, those Pat Riley comments saying, you got to have the guts to stay. You don't run out of that first door. There were rumors that didn't sit well with LeBron. Had you heard that as well?
There's been so much. There has been that. There has been Mickey Harrison not paying for Mike Miller and amnestying him, not using the mid-level exception, not getting the type of depth that LeBron was used to having. Dwayne Wade missing 28 games with his knee maintenance program. And yet, the way LeBron at the end this time, unlike the decision in 2010, the way he couched it by saying he wanted to go home, there was nothing the Heat could do. If a player wants to go home, if he wants to live in arguably the largest home in all of the state of Ohio, if he wants to play for his hometown team, the Heat couldn't counter that, even when they said, we have Pat Riley, we have Mickey Harrison, you're going back to Dan Gilbert. It just simply didn't resonate. LeBron James wanted to go home, and honestly, he has been giving hints all season saying, I play for my teammates. I don't play for an owner. I think that was the first tip-off more than anything.
Do people, though, perhaps in Miami feel that there may have been missteps along the way? And you brought up one of them, that amnesty of Mike Miller, and that was done, correct me if I'm wrong, simply to lower luxury tax payments, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They could have kept Mike Miller. They would have paid an extra $17 million this year, about $33 million over the 2 years that Mike Miller was due. They certainly could have got another piece. They did not spend their mid-level this year. So, yeah, I think what happened to a degree was because some of the shine came off Pat Riley, because some of the shine came off Mickey Harrison, it made it easier. The biggest question to me is this. The Heat, about 1 month ago, were tied 1-1 with the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA Finals. If the Heat would have won that series, could LeBron James possibly left after a three-peat? So really, if going home was the priority for LeBron, then that probably was the best outcome, because I can't fathom a player who values his legacy walking away with a chance to win a 4th straight title, something even Michael Jordan never did.
Yeah, that would have been very difficult. What about that? I mean, talk about that finals debacle, and that really was a beatdown for the Heat. How did the relationship end there with Eric Spoelstra? Was there any issues between those two in the end?
I think it was tense all year, but I think the Dwayne Wade maintenance program and Dwayne's knees had more to do with it. I think LeBron at some points during the finals looked at Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and said, you know what, these guys are good friends, but I don't know if I can keep lifting these guys, when he basically was playing 1-on-5 throughout that series. So I think he didn't want to sort of disturb the friendships with those guys. He made it clear to Dwayne Wade, spent the last 2 days with Dwayne at his camp in Las Vegas with top college and prep prospects. He's been in touch with Chris Bosh, making sure Chris could now leave and get that offer with Houston. But at the end of the day, I think he said to himself, hey, Kyrie Irving, either Wiggins or a trade for another star, 4 or 5 years living at home, it just made sense to him. So I think he felt that the statute of limitations on the championship potential with the Heat was running out.
All right, so Ira, what's next now for this Miami Heat team? There's not a lot left on this roster right now, is there?
This reminds me of 2006. Remember, they won the championship with Shaquille O'Neal. Then Shaquille O'Neal fell off. The Heat went all the way to 15-67. I think the Cavaliers are the perfect example. In the NBA, that's what you do. You ride the wave. You're on top, and then you're back down. Then you're like the Cavaliers who get back up. Now you're like the Celtics who are getting themselves back up. That's what you have to do in the NBA. So Dwayne Wade went through one complete rebuild already in Miami. The question now is whether he'll be around long enough for a second rebuild.